The ultimate gaming laptop of 2025 is coming soon. So what can we expect? Well, this year has given us some great gaming laptops with new CPUs and GPUs, and next year is looking very exciting. We've got Zen 4, Ryzen 7000, and Intel 13th Gen coming soon, and AMD have already announced their new lineup of Ryzen Z7000 processors for gaming laptops. Now, it's not just about throwing in more cores and clocking them higher. There are other key changes like more PCIe lanes from the CPU to the GPU and extra PCIe Express 5.0 M.2 storage, which will be especially useful in laptops because they tend to use smaller drives compared to desktops. More CPU PCIe lanes also means more options for add-in boards with extra networking or other features. Unfortunately, Intel 13th Gen and AMD Zen 4 gaming laptops aren't launching until Computex next year, so we're still waiting a few months. However, there are some early rumors and leaks that give us an idea of what to expect. So let's start out with the CPUs. Ryzen 7000 for gaming laptops will bring us up to 8 cores and 16 threads with higher single-core clock speeds thanks to 5nm Zen 4 cores. They also have more cache, too. But really, the big news is that Zen 4 now offers double the PCIe Express Gen 4 lanes between the CPU and GPU. This goes from 8 to 16, which means better performance when using faster PCIe Express Gen 5 SSDs, but it also means that there's enough bandwidth for 2 Gen 5 drives now rather than just one. So interesting times if you want to put 2 super-fast SSDs in your laptop. In my last video, I went through all the early rumors and leaks suggesting that Intel's 13th Gen laptop processors could get up to 14 cores with more cache. And the leaks so far have been pretty accurate. Now the actual launch specs of Raptor Lake for desktop have been leaked by Momomo_US. And although these are for desktop, it makes sense that the laptop versions will be similar or the same, considering how much of the actual CPU design has already been finalized. So 13th Gen, up to 24 cores, with 8 P cores, and up to 16 E cores. This is obviously a huge jump over current gen, which maxes out at 14 cores. It's a shame that Intel's 12th Gen didn't go higher because it looks like AMD is going to take the crown this year with their mobile processors at least. And this is the first time that Intel's had more cores than their competition since 2019 when they launched 10th Gen with up to 16 cores. Now, Intel's Core Ultra naming is definitely sticking around, at least for 2023, according to early rumors. And yeah, this could end up being another great year for gaming laptops. Like we've already seen from the recent Steam survey that more people are playing games on laptops now compared to desktops. And while a lot of this is probably due to the WFH trend, laptops are getting better and better for gaming. But what about the GPUs? Well, NVIDIA RTX 40 series laptop GPUs were announced recently, and we'll see those in gaming laptops next year. Now, I've already covered the desktop cards in detail in previous videos, but I'll give you the quick rundown. So RTX 40 series uses Ada Lovelace microarchitecture with new cores that can do 80 tensor operations teraflops compared to 32 in current gen. So AI features in games should get even better, and this should also help with features like frame generation. The top-end desktop cards also get faster memory and more memory. We've actually already seen the first RTX 4090 laptop, which was a custom system from Asus with a 17-inch screen, but it was running a 165-watt TGP version of the card, which was still able to reach 120 FPS in Cyberpunk. I'd expect 17-inch models to be the sweet spot for 4090s next year, though. It's not just high-end either. The mid-range RTX 4060 and lower-end RTX 4050 both look like they'll be available in laptops too. So the 4050 seems to replace the 3050, while the 4060 replaces the 3060 and moves it up against the 3070. Now, the desktop 4060 has 8 GB of RAM, but I'm expecting 16 GB to be the standard in laptops. And speaking of RAM, I think it's likely that we'll see RTX 40 series laptops with 24 and maybe even 32 gigs of RAM, but only in high-end configurations. Basically, I think that RTX 40 series laptops will offer similar options to what we've seen with RTX 30 series, just with higher tier specs and better performance. There are some new rumors suggesting that AMD might start including their radio in chips with their discrete GPUs too, kind of like NVIDIA's Tegra mobile processors. Apparently, the next generation of AMD's Ryzen AI is expected to include RDNA 3 graphics. So AMD could start putting their CPUs and GPUs together on the same die, and we may even see these in laptops too, potentially allowing for higher power limits and more power to the GPU. But we'll have to wait and see if anything comes of this. Then there's the small matter of DDR5 memory for laptops. This is a new type of memory that has already been used in some 2022 laptops, but it hasn't been super common yet. Most laptops this year have stuck with DDR4, but next year we're likely to see more DDR5 options. DDR5 has higher speed potential, better timings, and lower latencies, so it should help boost performance. It also runs on a 4800 MTS frequency compared to 3200 on DDR4. So based on this, we can expect twice the data transfer rate. However, according to the founder and CEO of Crucial, there won't be any real noticeable improvements unless we see more RAM in games, which currently averages out at just 12 gigabytes per game. That said, DDR5 support will make future upgrades easier and potentially cheaper. Right now, a lot of laptops are hitting their memory limits with just 8 or 16 gigabytes, which is why I think it makes sense to start looking at DDR5 now. So basically, if you're buying a new laptop this year, consider whether you want to upgrade this year or next year. If you plan to buy next year, then I suggest holding off. Otherwise, if you need a new laptop right now and don't want to wait, then you'll want to make sure that you can easily upgrade the RAM if needed. Some companies like Alienware include upgradable memory, while others like HP don't. So check before you buy. Also make sure that you're checking the total memory capacity, not just how much is populated. For example, this Asus laptop that I bought for my sister has 2 sticks of memory, but each stick is 8 GB. So only half of the memory slots are populated. This means that I can upgrade to a maximum of 32 GB of memory if I wanted to, but I would need to buy another 16 GB stick. At the moment, she only has 16 GB in here, but I can upgrade that to 32 GB if she needs more. Next year, I think we're going to see a lot more focus on high refresh rate mini LED screens, particularly in the high-end space. Basically, these are going to be ultra-bright OLED or QLED screens with really high refresh rates and local dimming for better contrast and black levels. Already this year, Asus has introduced the ROG Strix G16 with a 240 Hz mini LED panel, which is the world's fastest so far. And it's insane because it also gets to a peak brightness of 2500 nits. That's ridiculously bright and way more than you need even for HDR content. If we combine this with the upcoming RTX 40 series GPUs, we should be able to drive high refresh rate mini LED without needing features like DLSS or FSR. But yeah, next year is looking like a big year for gaming laptops, and you can bet I'll be buying a whole bunch of them for benchmarks and reviews. So if you're interested in seeing those, then subscribe for updates. Check out the next video to find out about the best gaming laptops of 2022. So far, there are some great deals in there. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.